What's up, everybody? So today what we were talking about, because it is coming to the very near end of my van build, I needed to do something about the two giant windows that I have in the living portion of the van. So I am going to be talking about window treatments here. How do we cover up all that light coming in, the light going out, or whatever it may be? Let's talk about all that right now. Alright, so if you guys are new to my page, consider subscribing. What I do here is I do different types of vlogs, whether it's comedy related because I'm a stand-up comedian, or van life vlogs, or really just anything. I'll do a lot of tours. Everything I do is a vlog style. It's my style. It's very real. I just like to bring as much realness as I can to hopefully everybody out there, and you guys can see how we actually live van life, not some fake network television type show. So when I do a tour, which I love to do, I usually bring really realness to it. Nothing's really fake or whatever it may be. Today we're going to talk about some window treatments, what I did for my van, what I did in my first van, and also maybe some other options that people are interested in. So we'll talk about what I did currently in the van right now that's behind me right now, and then we'll kind of get into some other ideas and some thoughts and maybe concerns maybe that people are having, and hopefully we'll kind of, by the end of this, hopefully it'll get you a better understanding what you want to do in your van. I have these window covers, window shades, window treatments, whatever you want to call them. That's what these are right here. I bought mine through a company called Explorer Outfitters, and it's actually spelled a little differently, but I'll put their Instagram handle up in the, section up here, but as well as down below. I'm not getting any kickbacks from them. I did not get these for free. I paid for these. Reason I went with that company, because there's a whole bunch of companies that make these, right? The reason I went with them was a couple different. Number one, I really like this color scheme. White on the inside, excuse me, black on the outside. They have a bunch of different color schemes as well, but this kind of fit my whole, black and white thing in the van. So, and brown in here as well. But anyways, really just liked their pricing was just fair and reasonable. There's other companies out there that do these as well, like I said, but I felt like their price points was a little bit higher. These guys were really good, and they're based out of Southern California, which is pretty awesome. But anyways, what these are is I have the two windows in my living quarters, and then I have the two front windows, the driver's side and the passenger side window, and I have the windshield. So I have 5 covers to cover all of that. The reason for that is because my front seats are eventually going to be a living area. Well, really just one seat. The passenger seat is going to be on a swivel, so if I'm parked somewhere for, camping or something like that, or I can put the shades up in the front and I can make that into a little workstation. I even have an outlet mounted underneath my passenger seat that can actually use that for a table or do some work with the door open and sunshine and rainbows, right? Another reason why I like these is you maybe have heard that right in the beginning. You might have just heard it just now. These are magnets. They're magnet to the metal frame, and it's just that easy, right? They make and design them to have magnets just stick up there. It's kind of nice, right? They are slightly bigger than the windows, so they are fully blackout, okay? Now, as you see in the video, it is daytime right now, right? I actually did some B-roll footage of nighttime, and I have my lights on, right? They are bright. These are 6,000 Kelvin. They are daylight, right? And no cutting. I'm going to throw up while I'm talking, I'm going to throw up the B-roll footage of me walking out the door, keeping the lights on, shutting the door, and then I'm going to walk around the other side of the van, and I actually didn't have the shade in the driver's side. So you guys can see all of that take place right now in that video. Another reason why I like these as well, I don't have the C.R. Lawrence windows, which pretty much everybody in van life has. The C.R. Lawrence windows are the T windows, and they're little crank style windows that will flare out. And what's nice is how they're seamed horizontally here. You can magnet them up, and you can actually get air while still having a window cover, technically. I just have the slider windows, which I can show you. I have the slider right here. So I just did it a little differently. I didn't get the C.R. Lawrence. I wanted this I wanted that slider right there. And it's just a little different. I just wanted like a pretty big sliding window. That's all I wanted. That's the only really difference there. I do know that this company, they sell a 3-season and a 4-season window treatment or window cover. And other companies do the same thing. Pretty much the difference between 3-season and the 4-season is the 4-season one, it just has a thicker insulation. Now, I have the 3-season model. I took my van up to Banff, which I've said in other videos, Banff, Canada, and it got as low as 18 degrees Fahrenheit. I was totally fine. Now, granted, I have one of the best heaters inside of a van possible, right? But you get a lot of heat loss, right, through your windows. So if you have a lot of windows, you want to make sure you have proper window covers. I kept it a comfortable 70 to 72 degrees, and I sipped my power, which means the heat was not on all that much, okay? So it's really, really important not only to insulate your van really well, but to also insulate your windows really well. That goes for hot and cold. So if you're in a cold climate and you want to keep your air inside warm, some window covers are super important. Vice versa on the hot outside, and you want to keep it cool on the inside, cooler, I should say, because it's almost impossible to keep it like super cool unless you have an air conditioner in the summertime. But then again, if you have an air conditioner, you want to keep that cool air inside. And in these are blackout, so as you guys saw, there's daylight coming through here, and there's nothing there right now. So having that blockage of the sun in the bad summer months are obviously essential. That's why people put windshield visors up. It's the same as that concept. You want to go with a really good product. Like I said, there's a lot of companies out there. I actually like these guys a lot. They are good. They shipped to me really quickly. They got the sizes that I wanted. They were one of the first companies that had the 2019 Sprinter covers available. All that good jazz, right? So now I kind of want to go over not just this style, some other window treatments or window covers. If you really want to go super high end, you could frame out the window and you could have a shade mounted on the inside and you could draw it down, or you could have even like a shade. Couple reasons why I didn't want to do that. Number one, I'm still stealth. I wanted to remain stealth. You're gonna be, if you look inside the window, you could possibly see the shade through the window. To make it completely blackout, you need to actually cover it so there's no light going out or light coming in, right? So having that kind of a shade mount is a little more difficult. I actually did something like that in my first van. So in my first van, I had a ProMaster, and I had the rear windows that were non-functioning. They were just windows. They weren't opening. So I put up like fake brick, and I actually did a video on this a while back. And then I mounted a like a IKEA blackout shade to the other side of it, and then that was it. It could draw down that way. It did work, but it wasn't fully blacked out. I actually had curtains to help me with the temperature and also the blacking out purpose of it. But it was cool to have that as a look, right? And you couldn't see the shade. It was mounted underneath here. So what I'm talking about is you could build a frame up around it. You could bring a piece of wood down here, and you could literally mount something on the back here, and that would be your shade that would pull down. It is kind of a pain, because you do not have that much space from there to there. And this is just a guesstimate, but it's about 2.5 inches. So you have to find a shade that's that thin if you build that down and then mount it on that side of it. It's a cooler look, but for somebody, I don't want to say that this is the cheap way to do it. I just think it's the much easier way to do it. Yeah, you could do it the other way. Sure, it will look pretty and everything like that. But honestly, these things work great. They help with temperature control, and I just fully enjoy them more than doing it the other way. All right, so I'm actually going to show you in daylight like it is now. I already showed you the nighttime. I want to show you what daylight is also like this, with the shades up, and then I'll show them down as well on the same door. I'll actually take the camera off the mount right now, and I actually will show you that as I'm talking in the whole jazz. Well, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about, and the lights will be on, so you'll be able to see all that. See right through there. It's just like a... It's weird to say it like this, but it's like a night and day difference. So that is just really my quick rendition of really some some window treatments ideas. I really just wanted to show these off. I think these are great. I like them a lot. Again, check out Explorer Outfitters, and I'll put up the link in all the description, all that good jazz. I personally think it's worth the money, and in the long run, you're not only going to save yourself all the labor that it would take to build out a frame and get the same window treatments or whatever it may be. I've done both ways, and I just feel that this way was a lot easier and more efficient for a full-time van lifer like myself. So take that all into consideration. Take into consideration that also, this is a big one for these big sliding windows. This right here is not straight. That is not a straight line, everybody. That is diagonal as all heck, right? So if you are building out a frame, you're gonna have to take all that in consideration. That's just for the slider. If you do on the other side, it's also diagonal, or whatever angle that is, 30 degrees or 15-degree angle. It's not really, you'd have to, it would be a weird frame. Unless you do a weird angle frame and then, or you make it 90, yeah, sure, and then it would just look weird on the other side. So, totally up to you. I'm just saying these are a lot easier. They're custom fit for whatever year, make, and model van you have. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of companies other than Explorer Outfitters, but I've already said why I like these guys. Also, my finished van tour is coming out this weekend if you're watching this video now, but if you are... if you watched it already after the weekend, then guess what? My finished tour video is going to be up already. So, and it's going to be not 100% complete, it's 99.9% complete. I'll kind of go over all that when I do the tour video. So guys, I will see you next time.